Hey guys, it's Stephanie.
I'm Trey.
This is your weekly dose of BS. How are these fires still going? And by the way, we're recording this Tuesday, so maybe Thursday they're not still going.
I don't have
But
proof.
it is so crazy.
I think they're 30% contained now. But I feel like it's all we've been talking about for a week, and they're still going. I've seen some footage of these fires, and there was like a fire tornado. Did you see that?
Yes, it's insane.
And there's basically like if a palm tree gets set on fire, it basically turns into a bomb. Like because the top part just like explodes, and so the embers go everywhere, and that's kind of how it keeps just going. It's pretty crazy. Now there's 3 fires. So it's not just one.
There's 3. And I saw somewhere online where people are actually some of these fires, people are actually starting. So they're going around and just.
Which is so insane. People have been arrested for walking around with gas cans and like blowtorches, which is such an odd thing to be walking the street with, you know?
Yeah. Well, Travis and I were watching the news last night, and they were showing people also like looting and just taking advantage of these people who fled because of the fires. And that is also really, really crazy to be the type of person who goes in and robs people at their weakest. I mean, there's some gross people in this world.
So America's sweetheart, Spencer Pratt, is reporting for the world.
He really is. If you do not follow him on TikTok, you should. I think he is. Every third scroll is him. He must be on there 24/7.
It's so funny, the comments. I think he is. I don't think he's actually slept, and you can kind of see that both of them are like truly going crazy.
Yeah.
But he surpassed 1 million TikTok followers after their house burned down.
I think
they have
he's
a house
at 1.4 now.
No, he's at 1.8 this morning.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Just keep
and
going.
Heidi's at like 1.3. He's on a campaign to get Heidi's songs that came out 15 years ago, number 1, and he's doing it. He's succeeded on Apple. He's going for Billboard. In order to get the Billboard number 1 spot, you have to have radio plays. So he's working on that. Apparently last night, and this is as of Tuesday, he got an update last night. The biggest producer in the world, he said right now, and a song written by one of the biggest artists in the world sent something over for Heidi to record. And
Who do you think it is?
I have an idea, and I read the TikTok comments, and I agree with him.
Who?
Well, so what he's saying is he's like, we can possibly drop this next week. And if we do, he was like, we should make enough money to buy or rebuild our house, and I can rebuild my parents' house.
Amazing. Okay, who do you think it is?
I think it's Jack Antonoff.
I don't even know who that is.
He writes all of Taylor, or well, not all of Taylor Swift. He writes for Taylor Swift.
Yeah, then
he writes for Sabrina Carpenter.
It'll be good.
He writes a lot of good. All of his stuff turns to gold.
Yes.
Maybe it's not. He was also begging Pitbull to be on Heidi's track. What was it, Superficial? Or was it the other one?
Somebody did a mashup of like Pitbull and Heidi. I believe I saw that.
Yes.
And it was really good.
It was good.
It was really, really good.
And I guess Pitbull, so Spencer went on TikTok and was like, everyone please tag Pitbull to do this with us. And he responded. And I guess he asked for the track, and that's coming. If Heidi Montag is the pop sensation of 2025, that was on none of our bingo cards.
No, but I'm loving it.
I love it too.
You know what I like about him, and I think the older you get, the more you realize that they were not the villains in that story.
Right, that's growth. Spencer
really
Pratt was never the villain.
He really wasn't.
Which is weird.
No. But what I like about them, and I didn't really notice this until I saw them on TikTok together, is like he is such a ride or die for his wife, and I love that.
He is.
I mean, he
is
really
her number 1 fan. He's been wearing that same one shirt, the Heidi Montag shirt, for like a week.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope he washes it whenever he sleeps, but I don't really know if he sleeps.
But no, it is. It's so sweet. Like, he was crying for her success. He was, whenever all these good things were happening for her. And I mean, he is, I love that. I like whenever guys are like that, because I think a lot of men aren't. But yeah, he is such her ride or die. And I love that he's taking this moment to really let her shine and to, let her dreams.
He's also going on TikTok, and he's like, listen, if you're my friend and you're not posting a video playing this song, you're no longer my friend. So now all these people are posting his video, like Kristen Cavallari, Brody Jenner, just like random
There was another
Flavor Flav's going off.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, if you don't post this, we're not friends. And people are posting
Yeah,
it,
they're
and
like,
people
"Oh,
are like,
crap."
Mark safe from.
There's one guy on one of his TikToks. He was kind of like talking about like two people from the hills that kind of haunt him. I think one of them was Lo Bosworth because she has this like ad that he always sees, and it's like, I think for some down under your little lady area health. And then there's another guy named Talon from the hills who he was also talking about who haunts him. He's always selling this cold blanket. So last night I was on and saw Spencer and Talon. The scroll before, I saw this Talon guy who had not been on TikTok in like a while dancing to Heidi's song. And then I scroll one more and it's Spencer Pratt with Talon dancing to the song in the green screen, telling everybody he was trolling him for selling cold towels, and now he's telling everyone to go buy Talon's cold towels. It's very funny. He's hysterical. I love them. And I was telling Trey, I mean, he's doing so many videos. I think with TikTok you can make videos. You can make money from your videos. You have to have a lot of views to really make a significant amount of money, which I'm sure he's making because he has millions of views. But the money you make is not really stable. So sometimes you'll make 10 cents, sometimes you'll make $1, and that's 10 cents per every thousand people
views
that watch, but they have to watch for a certain
I
amount
think it's
of time,
over 10
right?
seconds.
Like I think so. I think that's about right. So I mean, millions of views. I think these makeup, like really viral makeup artists kill it. Like Jeffree Star, I think, does very, very, very well. And then, if you're really, I never go live, but I think a lot of people go live and get like gifts and stuff. And then that's like a big way to monetize. But like somebody like Jeffree Star, or even back in the day, like Spencer, when he was selling his crystals, a lot of people will go on and like sell their merch while they're doing lives. So there's a lot of money to be made in TikTok. I'm sure he's killing it. I'm sure he's absolutely killing it.
I don't know. He went on this morning and he posted a screenshot, and he's making about 10 cents per 1,000 views.
No, that's just one video. He didn't show you all of his things.
Okay.
I guarantee you he's making more. I think it's because he said, oh, I'm going to give me my 10 cents at one video. And then it showed up, or one of the videos, they were getting 10 cents per 1,000 views. But I guarantee you it's more than that on most of his things.
I hope so, because that is his full-time job. And listen, there is something about a desperate Spencer Pratt. I think Bethany Frankel posted a video about this the other day, and she was like, I think this is really setting the tone for what the world is becoming, because we're looking for honesty. We're no longer into the flash and the glitz and the glam. We want honesty. So seeing someone that was rich and famous being very honest about their situation right now and not being pinned up in the Beverly Hills Hotel, there's something very honest about that, where you want to help people. You want better for them, because for a while we were wanting to watch people fail, which I never understood.
No,
but now we want to help them rebuild. And so he was saying yesterday, kind of speaking on the looting, that he had a former employee of his reached out and went and bought all this stuff because he has $2 million worth of crystals that he had purchased. Now, are those insured? I would hope so.
Don't
but
know, because I know that he didn't, he got dropped with fire insurance. And so
but are your possessions still? I know the structure's not with fire insurance, but your possessions still should. I don't know exactly how that works.
I don't know, but also it's if you insure them,
Right.
a lot of people have jewelry that they don't even have insured. So if something goes wrong and it's not insured, then they're just kind of shit out of luck,
Yeah. Well, so these crystals, they broke. They shattered into a million pieces, and him and this person were going to go dig these up, but the Palisades are completely shut off by the Coast Guard. Is it the Coast Guard? No, it wasn't the Coast Guard. It was someone really in charge with big guns and big trucks is saying you can't come in. So he can't go and get those right now because there was so much looting. I was also seeing on TikTok, and this is so sad, that people were, after, they were going into the evacuation zones after people left, they were breaking into houses, stealing stuff, and then just going ahead and setting the house on fire.
Oh, that's crazy.
What?
there's some again, that's I think things like this show you the best of humanity and the worst of humanity
Mm-hmm.
simultaneously. So I saw that last night when I was watching the news with Travis. They had, a lot of people have indoor cameras and it's showing like people's, surveillance cameras inside their home and these, 6, 8, probably teenagers going in and just robbing them blind at their lowest. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It just stresses me out. I hope that they get control of this. My brother-in-law is a firefighter. I was telling Trey, we were talking about it the other day, and it was super fascinating, just like how he was saying the firemen were working and kind of how they had to do it and why it was so difficult for them to get this fire out. Like he was saying, a lot of like, you see them dropping like the red stuff from
Mm-hmm.
the sky from the airplanes. So that's like a fire retardant, I guess he said. And that's supposed to make it to where, the fire hopefully will have
Can't
the fire
pass
to where
that
like,
line.
yeah, it can't pass that line. But I guess the fire was so strong that it was actually a lot of times getting through that. And then he said that whenever it's a fire like that, you really can't fight it from the front. You have to kind of get behind it where it's burning out for safety reasons and kind of fight it from the back end.
Well, I saw that too, that like just because it looks like the fire's out, it's not really out.
Mhm.
And it'll be probably a good week before it's actually, even after it's out,
Yeah.
before it's out.
Well, and I think there's supposed to be some big winds and stuff coming. Mother Nature's crazy. So they said it could get worse before it gets better. So if you live in that area or, I have family who lives there. I have a cousin who is kind of downtown LA, and then Travis has some family that's like Marina Del Rey, which I think they are fine as of right now. But it got kind of close to where my cousin who works in LA is. So we'll see what happens. It's crazy.
Yeah. There's something just obviously feels very off about this.
Mm-hmm.
And Spencer Pratt's posted that they live next to a water reservoir and they never saw any fire trucks. They never saw anyone coming to help. They've called 911 4 or 5 times, hours leading up to it, seeing the fire come over the hill. And that reservoir, whenever they went back, remained locked.
Yeah, which is
And so he's saying that, well, he's lawyering up, and apparently there's a bunch of big lawsuits coming for the city. And then on top of that, all State Farm, like a good neighbor, they weren't there. They've dropped all these people in like July, knowing these fires were coming. So if they knew these fires were coming, the city knew the fires were coming, the budget was still cut. It just seems very off. There were people that stayed in the mandatory evacuation zone, and they were able to save their house. But looking at how these winds were moving, I don't know what you really could have done to save your house. Bethany Frankel posted a good video, and she was like, this is a great time for us all to just like take 5 minutes and think, if we had to get out of our house super fast, what are we taking? Because in the moment, you don't know.
yeah.
Like, I have no idea what I would take.
Oh, I would take my kids' like baby stuff, and like I have a teddy bear that is my ET baby. I would take like very sentimental things.
I would probably take nothing from my house, and I would spend my time rushing to your house to get. I can tell you what I'd take from your house.
I mean, all of our like valuables and stuff we kind of keep in in a safe place anyway. But I don't know. I mean, there are certain things I would never not like. I have like a doll from like. I have something my aunt gave me before she passed. I would take that. I have a doll from my childhood. I really need to get this teddy bear fixed because it looks real horrible. And then I have like some baby clothes and stuff from, when my children were really, really little that I would want to take pictures. Like, thankfully, a lot of pictures and stuff now are, in your cloud, and you have them, you have a
digital copy
yeah,
of
a
something.
digital copy. But if you're older, like my parents, all of their stuff is, in photo albums. So I don't know. it would be hard. I don't even know what I would take. I don't know.
Well, and you mentioned like, people being older. I saw that like 60% of the people in the Pacific Palisades have a second home somewhere, but the other 40% don't. And they've lived there for 20, 30, 40 years. And, maybe they bought their house for a couple $100,000. Now it's worth a few million, but they can't afford to rebuild. I'm very interested to see how that rebuild process goes.
Yeah.
And if people stay.
No, because right now, I mean, you just have a massive amount of land that's going to have to be built on.
Yeah.
And I mean, Travis and I have done some real estate stuff in California years ago, and it is like jumping through hoops to do anything there. So I know they said that they're kind of lowering the red tape, but to do anything is crazy in California.
Yeah, and apparently they're going to, reduce those restrictions, but there was something passed not too long ago that prevents anyone basically on the Pacific Coast Highway and that's in kind of a wildlife area from building anything over 5,000 square feet. So you took these people that have, say, I don't know, I'm just using a number, a $20 million home that was 20,000 square feet. Well, they can no longer build that. They have to now build a 5,000 square foot house that's maybe now worth $5 million. People are they've lost a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the comments on TikTok are just gross. Like, regardless of how much money someone has, they've lost everything. Just imagine having nothing.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, all you have is what you're wearing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. Do you follow this? So we have a turtle. We have a tortoise, I guess you would say. And the reason I got stuck with this tortoise 4 or 5 years ago is because of this tortoise on TikTok named Tiptoe.
Oh,
and,
I remember this.
So Cruz fell in love with this tortoise. So now we have this tortoise that's going to be humongous one day. He's already growing a little too fast for my liking. He's getting a little too big. But like he was in the fire. He was like in the way of the fire.
Oh.
And I saw them come across. I've never been so stressed out for a slow turtle to get in the car. It's like, oh my gosh, we gotta
hurry up,
speed it up. Yeah, we gotta speed it up a little bit. But
well,
so
that
he's
turtle's
safe.
gonna outlive you.
Yeah, he is. Oh, it is. I mean, these turtles live like 100+ years. So I told Cruz, I'm like, listen, you wanted this, not me. So you're gonna have to like go to college and get you a place that you can keep this big turtle because Mama didn't want a turtle. Like the bunnies don't live forever. Turtles live like 100+ years.
You know what? I have a friend that wanted bunnies her senior year of high school, and she still has them. They're 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they don't live 100 years. Like turtles.
No, but I was like she's
forever.
married, like still has bunnies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
yeah.
I would rehome the bunnies.
Oh, yeah. And turtles only eat like very fresh things. They are very high maintenance. So.
All right. So this is a big week. Allegedly, this is our last week with TikTok.
It's not going to happen. I promise you. It's going to keep going. But everybody is preparing.
They're preparing their lawsuits.
And they're preparing to move to this other app that I downloaded for a hot minute. And I was like, it's called Red.
I have it.
Something.
I don't understand it. Bethany Frankel downloaded it.
Red
She
Note?
got kicked off of it for some reason. Red Note. Someone went through and translated the terms and conditions that you agreed to when you download this app. It's not like TikTok. You can't post anything political.
Oh,
ever.
okay.
Anything that would oppose the government. You can't. Anything that would be considered propaganda. There's a lot of red tape.
Yes. So people are going on here, Americans. And the people on this app
I just deleted it because I don't want it anymore.
Oh, no. The people on this app are calling the Americans TikTok refugees.
Yes.
Is the hashtag. And I think they're really getting annoyed with the Americans. But what I've seen is the Americans go on and make, very big fools of themselves like they do on TikTok. And I think that, is it the Chinese that owns this app? They're like, there's room for you. We have different time zones. You can have it
while we're asleep.
While we're asleep. We can have it when you're asleep. But the Chinese are very, very smart because what they're doing, I've seen on TikTok, is they are posting their they have their English homework. So they're learning how to speak English and they're posting their homework. And it's like, to learn how to speak English. And they're posting it and they're like, Americans, are these answers correct before I turn this in tomorrow? And, the Americans, we are so kind. We are giving them the answers to their homework. So, like, we are really helping them make the best grades possible. But yeah, it's super funny. I downloaded. I did not set up an account because I was like, wait, I don't even know what this says. You did?
Yeah. It's just like TikTok, except I can't. Everything's in Chinese.
Yeah, like you can't understand it.
I don't know what it's saying. But most of the videos I was watching were in English.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it feel like TikTok or was it like totally different?
No, it feels like a copy paste situation.
Okay. Well, I've seen, like, I saw this morning, and I don't know if it's true or not, that like I think you told me that like that Mr. Wonderful was wanting to buy TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly the US is just wanting to get TikTok for themselves. So they're trying to strong arm them.
Yeah. It's just there are so many people that make so much money on TikTok.
Yeah.
Jeffree Star was talking about this morning. He was like, if I wake up the morning of the 20th and I can't go live, I will be suing. Like, I will have a lawsuit with the Supreme Court because he's like, I make a lot of money. And this is a lot of people's source of income. A lot of people that did not make, anywhere close to what they're making now are making tens of thousands of dollars posting videos on TikTok.
Yeah. Well,
that's their livelihood.
Especially like Jeffree Star has his own makeup line.
Yeah,
so for
he'll
him,
be fine.
I think that I saw that he, like every time he goes live, it's like $50,000 is kind of what he makes because he's also like going live and getting gifts, but he also goes on there and sells all of his products. So he'll do his makeup, sell all of his products, do a lot of specials. So I think especially I saw people who are teachers who quit their jobs to literally do TikTok full time. There's a lot of people who financially do really, really, really well. And they spend tons. That really sweet, like shoe lover girl, I'm talking about. She calls everyone tater tots. Like, I think she quit her job. And I'm sure she makes so much money because, she gets, again, millions and millions of views. So even if you're making 10 cents a view, if you're getting, millions, that's you're doing good. Yeah.
And people are posting what they've made, and it's tens of thousands a month that they're making. There was one guy that posts just videos of his dogs. It's like an account for his dogs. And he made $400,000 last year.
That's crazy.
$400,000.
That is
now,
crazy.
do these people think this money's going to last forever? No.
But
it's
you know what?
relatively
Get
new.
it while you can.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's interesting. We'll see what happens. I do not think it's going anywhere. I read today somewhere that they're like extending the whole thing for like.
Yeah, where'd you see this? I need to Google this.
I saw it on TikTok, so it could be false, but by multiple accounts. That they were kind of extending it for, I think it was like 170 days. I just don't think the government will do it because people will go absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I don't see anything about that, but I do see that Red Note is at the top of the app charts.
Yes, but Trey just deleted it, so he's not helping it out. He's not helping it out. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. So on Sunday, your TikTok app will still be on your phone. I don't know if you can still go live. You can still post videos, but your phone, basically the App Store won't legally be allowed to service the app anymore. So as new iPhones come out, this app won't be able to keep up unless Apple's just like, haha, and makes it still work.
Or unless the government decides that there's other things they should probably worry about, like these fires that happen and everything going on in our world. So
that's a good one.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for listening and supporting. You can follow me at Steph Holman on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
You can follow me at Trey_Stewart. You can follow our podcast at BS Podcast, and you can stream Superficial on iTunes and wherever you get your music. Bye.
Bye.